welcome back to my channel. It is Brittany. So in today's video we have something a little bit different. We are celebrating 3 years of full-time entrepreneurship. So this is life after teaching. If you are new here, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. So I have been doing YouTube for over 8 years. I started in 2013, and in 2016 I started teaching middle school art. And I quickly realized that I did not enjoy teaching, but because of financial reasons and stuff like that, I had to stick it out before I decided to go full-time. So I taught for 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and then June of 2018 I decided to leave my job. But I really knew I was going to leave my job probably in December of 2017. Yeah, I had made up my mind that was my goal to go ahead and, you know, become a full-time YouTuber and influencer and everything. So I have been full-time for 3 years, and it has been an interesting ride, but I have enjoyed it. So in today's video, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys like kind of my mindset and how I feel about stuff after doing this full-time for 3 years. And I'm also going to share some of my favorite equipment and apps that I use to, you know, do this whole thing, to edit my pictures and all that kind of stuff. I did a video similar to this with my equipment way back in 2017, but there's a lot has changed since 2017. So I feel like this is going to be, you know, helpful to influencers or anybody who's trying to do stuff with social media. So the first is to slow down and be more strategic. I think sometimes, especially with me, I'm speaking from my perspective, for years I was just going and going, uploading a lot, sometimes like 4 and 5 times a week. And I did that well until like last year, early last year. No, actually until the end of 2020. And then, you know, I was watching other people, like I've watched Taste Pink, and I've heard her talk about this, and other people, like, you don't have to kill yourself to be a successful influencer or YouTuber. I try not to upload that much because I feel like it's overwhelming to your audience to upload like 5 times a week or every single day. I won't even watch a person if they're uploading every single day because it's overwhelming to me, and I don't want to do that. And as a creator, it causes burnout. So for me, I'm slowing down a bit. I'm trying to stay on a schedule, but even if the schedule doesn't work for me, I'm gonna, you know, adjust so I don't get burned out. I'm trying to be more strategic and plan ahead and batch content, you know, way in advance, so I'm not doing stuff in real time. Like, I'm recording this video on Tuesday of this week instead of Sunday. Like, I've done that before where I have recorded a video the same day, edited, uploaded it, and, you know, did a premiere in the same day, which is fine, but it's exhausting. It's so nice to just record your video, sit on it, you know, a few days, and then edit it. It's so much more convenient, less stressful. So I'm just, you know, I've learned to be more strategic and slow down, not be so like obsessed with what other people are doing. Just, you know, run your race, do it in the way that you want to do it. Of course you want to, you know, stay top of like trends and stuff, but if you have an audience that, you know, respects what you do, they're gonna want to hear your voice anyway. So that's something I've had to learn. And that kind of goes into the next one is, and I said, study what's current, but do what's best for you. Listen, if you want to be a successful influencer, you have to know what's going on in the world, what trends are happening, what's popular right now. Because when I started in 2013, nobody was doing synthetic frontals. Synthetic frontals didn't even exist until like 2018, somewhere around there. So you have to evolve and adjust and learn, but at the same time, know your limits. Like for me, I am not a TikTok person. I'll do Instagram reels, but I'm not doing TikTok like that. That's just me personally. And I don't want to spread myself thin. Of course you can, you know, repurpose your content to be on Instagram reels and TikTok, but it's just too much for me. So I stick to YouTube as like my main evergreen channel, and then for like my socials, I just use Instagram. So YouTube and Instagram, those are my things. I do have a TikTok, but I just watch other TikToks sometimes from other people, but I don't really post on there. So, you know, you have to be down with what's happening or evolve, you know, to stay current and everything. But also, if something is not for you, just don't do it. The next thing, stay teachable. And this is really important. Stay teachable. Know that things change all the time and you have to stay open to learn from other people. That is what I'll say. Stay open to learn from other people, people that are more successful than you, people who have less subscribers and, you know, following than you. Because there's so many people that haven't done YouTube as long as I have, but they know so much, and I'm just open to learn from anybody who knows what they're talking about. So I did not really have any guidance as far as my YouTube and influencer journey concerns. I've learned by trial and error. But in 2020, around April, we did the Don't Rush Challenge, like a bunch of, you know, wig influencers. And in that group, XO Sheba, she told us about MATTIE James, who is like an influencer coach. That has changed so much of my influencer journey, and that was just last year. So I found out about MATTIE in probably May of 2020 through XO Sheba, and shout out to her for doing that, because listen, so much has changed in a positive way because of, you know, learning so much from MATTIE. If you are an influencer, aspiring influencer, you have to follow MATTIE James. She is really good at what she does. She gives out so much free content on her Instagram every week. She does weekly lives, but I actually enrolled in her Pitch Please class in November, and I'm still in it because I'm in the Facebook group. And listen, I have, you know, grown so much financially and being more knowledgeable about being an influencer. I think people don't see it as a business, or a lot of people kind of scoff at the idea of influencers being paid a lot and stuff like that. But I'm speaking from the wig community, but, you know, beauty as well, like makeup as well. A lot of wigs people wouldn't know about or check for if wig influencers didn't tell them. So, you know, if she's probably going to have another Pitch Please class in probably like in November of this year. If you're an influencer, I highly recommend taking her class and knowing how to, you know, talk to different brands and stuff. And there's still so much that I have to improve on. Like, I want to improve like my ad-like content, so I'm gonna hire a photographer to work with me coming up soon this month. And I've taken my pictures and stuff for the longest time, but I think it's time to elevate if I want to do other things, you know, and work with different brands outside of just hair. So yeah, I've just learned so much from her, and I highly recommend you follow her. Like, for example, I used to be a teacher, right? So I have my undergrad degree and my master's, and you know, if you have your, you know, 2 degrees, that's going to be very expensive as far as student loans go. So I have a ton of student loans, and if I was still in my previous job, it would take me years, at least 10 years, to pay off my student loans. Now I'm projected to pay off my student loans within the next like year or two. So, you know, this influencer thing is not like a joke. I think people think that, especially if it's in the beauty space, but it's not. People are really, you know, it's really changing lives out here. And YouTube has been, I did not expect for this to be my job and this to be my life. And I'm just so grateful that it took a turn in this direction. So something else I've learned, be a good steward of your money, especially when it comes to taxes, because when you are an influencer, you get paid straight up, no taxes are taken out. So you have to make sure you're putting back money every year, or you need to put back money every quarter. It just depends on how, you know, you do it with your money. When tax time comes, you're not like overwhelmed with the amount of money you have to pay, because it can be, you know, really expensive if you don't set aside that money. I have done a really good job so far with that, just, you know, maintaining my finances by myself, just me and Adrian and stuff like that. But, you know, last year was a really big year for me. You know, I met some goals I've never been able to meet before. And so I actually hired a financial advisor for the first time, because I don't know like everything about money, but good to partner up with people or hire people who do know. So I have a financial advisor for the first time, and it's been, you know, really helpful. So, you know, be a good steward of your money and be smart with it. Of course, treat yourself and do whatever you want, but, you know, it's good to be paying off debt out here. Something else I've learned is to take breaks before you need them. So I took a month-long break from YouTube around Christmas time, but I feel like I need to take more breaks than just that. I definitely do, but sometimes I just get so excited I just want to keep working, because I still enjoy creating content and everything, especially now. Like, I was supposed to take a break in June, which I technically am, because I'm putting some crochets. I'm not doing it, somebody else is. I'm getting some crochets installed, so any content I do after June 12th is gonna be something outside of hair. So I'm gonna take probably like 3 to 4 weeks off from hair content and then come back to my wigs. But I just, like, you know, you do need breaks. Of course, you need to be consistent and stuff, but everybody needs a break, regardless of, you know, how successful you are. Everybody needs breaks. Oh, and the last thing, something I've learned is my place, my lane, my voice is still important. Sometimes I'll get caught up in like, oh, I'm not as this influencer or whatever, but I've just become more confident in my particular voice and how I approach reviews or whatever I do. People come to me for a reason, because I'm thorough, because I'm, you know, giving you my honest opinions on the wigs or whatever that I review. I've been on here a long time, but people still enjoy what I have to say and my perspective, and I really appreciate you guys for trusting me with my reviews and stuff, because some people are like, yeah, I want to wait until I hear what you have to say about this wig before I purchase it. And that's a big deal, to trust somebody, you know, with your money, essentially. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with me so long. So now I'm going to get into like some of my favorite equipment and stuff that I use for my channel. First of all, I use my iPhone 11. I think this is a plus, I think. So I am not a huge tech savvy person, even though I do YouTube and stuff. But I had an iPhone 7 up until like April of 2020, and then I upgraded to the iPhone 11. I think it's a plus. And the iPhone 11, the picture quality looks so good, y'all. Adrian has a 12, I think, which is even better, and I'm like, I want to take pictures with his phone. But the portrait mode is really, really good. It blurs out the background and just focuses on your face. And I get people sometimes that inbox me and like, what camera do you use? A lot of times, most of my selfies, when I'm just taking pictures of my face, it's my iPhone, and I just use like some editing software to like brighten up my eyes or sharpen and make things more crisp. But essentially I just use my iPhone. The camera that I currently use right now is my Sony a5100. I have had this camera for 5 years, and I did not use it until 2020 because I was using my Canon T6i. But I actually like how I look on the Sony a5100 more. I like that it has like this the LCD flip up screen is at the top, so I can look at myself and everything. The only thing that's bad about this camera is that the battery life it's not that great. It gets overheated. Like, I have to open up the bottom of the camera just so it can like breathe a little bit and cool off. So I can't record like 5 or 6 hours straight like I could with the Canon T6i. And I have multiple batteries because of that. I just switch them out. If you have a camera, you need multiple batteries and multiple SD cards. But yeah, it gets overheated, but I do like this camera still. I think it's really great. I don't know if I'm going to upgrade because I haven't bought a camera since 2016. I've just been using the T6i and the Sony a5100. I think that's it. And I think this camera was like $600 maybe. I'm not sure. I have, you know, all of this equipment and stuff linked in my Amazon storefront. But I really do like this camera. So if you are taking pictures by yourself, I would recommend getting a selfie stick, the ones that come with a battery, because you can, you know, extend the neck or shorten it and just do photo shoots on your own. Very convenient. I have one that I got from Amazon. It works really well and it's very inexpensive. I'm gonna be shooting some try on hauls and stuff, and that's gonna be probably before I have a photographer. So I'm just going to be shooting myself, and sometimes I'm only going to be shooting with a photographer probably 2 times a month. So I'm going to be doing some of this stuff on my own like I have been doing. So selfie stick is great, and you can hold it out like this, or you can just have it kind of like a tripod and just take, you know, your lifestyle pictures or your beauty pictures or whatever you're doing. I already said you should get multiple SD cards. I get the higher gigabyte SD cards, the ones that are like 64 and 128. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff on here. Okay, so as far as like what I'm using now, I used to use backdrops and stuff, but I like the look of lifestyle backdrops. So my backdrop is kind of like a prop, even though it's functional. I actually don't do my makeup in this vanity. When I lived in my apartment, I used to actually do my makeup in the vanity, but I don't do that. I just store my makeup in here. And this is an IKEA. I'll just have to look it up, the name. I think it's Mickey. And these lights are actually bathroom, like vanity lights from Lowe's or Home Depot. And so is the mirror. So I have my infamous pink couch here that I got from Wayfair last year. I think this one is discontinued, but I'll link some similar ones here. I'm gonna eventually do a room reveal. It's just, y'all, after I film, this room gets crazy, and it's not like all the way working out for me right now because I want to be able to record fashion content in here, but I can't do that like I want to right now. I have to like record in my living room. And then I have like some, you know, fairy lights back there. So this is the mood and the vibe that I have for my backdrop, but I used to use like paper backgrounds. I still have them, but I just like the environment look for my backdrops. My lighting has gone through so many changes, but I feel like I found what works for me. I use two Dasney lights. They're desk mount lights and they are so good. I got them from Amazon. Gamers use these for streaming. I just have two on either side of me. I used to have a ring light in front of me, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I'm getting the right amount of light that I need. So I just use these two lights, and I highly recommend them for people with smaller spaces. And I wish I had these lights when I lived in an apartment, because I had those big soft boxes, and me and Adrian used to share office, so it was just chaotic in there. He couldn't be in there with me. Now we have separate offices, but if you have a small space, highly recommend these lights. And I have my camera. I don't have it on a tripod. It's actually on something called an Archon mount. And it's so good because I can swivel the neck to be an overhead kind of shot with the camera looking down, and I can do planner content or do unboxings and stuff like that. So it's multi-purpose. I can do like art videos and have it overhead. Yeah, I got this particular idea from the planner community because I am a planner and I have a planner YouTube channel. Tripod or desk tripod is really good for people who do cooking videos as well. They have different kinds that you guys can choose. So take a look at all the Archon mounts that exist, and I'll put the one that I have, but there's some really good ones out there for other purposes and stuff too. All right, let's get into some of these apps. Okay, so some of my favorite apps to use. PicMonkey. I use PicMonkey for my thumbnails, and I take my thumbnail pictures with my iPhone and they look really crisp. Back in the day, I think I used to do, I don't know, screen grabs or something, and one of my subscribers like back in the day was like, your thumbnails look, you know, blurrier than other people's, and I was like, I need to fix that because I want my thumbnails to, you know, look really good. Your thumbnails are really important because that kind of sets the tone for what people want to click on and watch. So make sure they look really crisp and stuff. So I usually use the eraser tool and just join two horizontal pictures together, and that's usually my thumbnail for wig reviews. You can take the background out of your picture and change the color of it. There's so many things you can do. You can watch tutorials on that, but highly recommend PicMonkey. Some of it is free, but I have the one that's a subscription, I believe. And I think I have an annual subscription. I also use Canva. I use Canva for the intro and outro for my channel. So I use it for my intro and outro for my planner channel as well. And you don't have to be super techie to make your own thumbnail. You can just use their templates and, you know, change the color schemes around and stuff like that. And I use Canva for my Instagram stories to kind of promote my wig reviews and stuff like that. And it's just nice because it has motion and stuff, so it's not just like a static image. Some people feel a way about people editing pictures, but if you're one of those people, just don't edit your pictures. But if you have, listen, I I remember 2016, before I was like editing my pictures, I did this bomb makeup look, but I had like a booger in my nose. So I had to scrap that whole video. But you can just blur that out and keep it moving and not waste any time or any content. So Facetune is great if you just want to knock down some texture on your skin, if you want to make your eyes stand out, if you want to make, you know, your lip gloss pop a little bit more. There's so many things you can do with Facetune. I don't have Facetune 2. You can do a lot more manipulation and stuff with Facetune 2, but I prefer just the free Facetune. I've never had a MacBook, but last year, was it last year? Yeah, beginning of 2020, I bought my first MacBook and it changed the game for me. Like, productivity changed like so much. An hour or so to upload certain videos or process certain videos before putting it on YouTube. With my MacBook, my stuff processes in like seconds, minutes. So it's just been a game changer for me. It was very expensive. It was an investment. It was like $4,000 or something like that, maybe $3,000 or $4,000. But this is my job, and that was one of the best investments I could have ever done for my channel, because I can edit multiple videos and have them processed in minutes. It's just amazing. And for my editing software, I did buy the Final Cut Pro X, and it's a huge learning curve with Final Cut Pro X. I used to use Wondershare Filmora. That is so much more user friendly. I don't know if you can do Filmora with a MacBook. If you can, I might just download it because it was so much more user friendly than Final Cut Pro. But Final Cut Pro is like the industry standard, you know, but I really liked Filmora a lot. You would just like download plugins, cute little lower thirds and stuff. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm gonna see if I can get Filmora, because I really enjoyed that when I had it. I just don't know how good it is with processing and stuff. I'll just have to see. But as far as music goes, I used to go on SoundCloud back in the day. People that were, you know, subscribed to me in like 2014, 2015, I used to have, you know, all these dope remixes and stuff. But I don't do that anymore, because years later, a lot of those videos that were super popular back then are flagged, and I can't like monetize those videos. Of course, you can use certain songs and then change the pitch of it. I don't want the headache of worrying about if my video can be monetized or not. Yeah, so I use Epidemic Sound now for my music and everything. So I think that app is like, I think that's like a $15 a month subscription, but it's so worth it for me. And you know how like generic stock music is? It can sound super lame and boring. But it's some bops on there. Like, they have all different kinds of categories. They have like stuff for Christmas. They have R&B. They have rap. They have trap. They have, you know, sentimental kind of music. They have everything on there. Highly recommend it. And I don't have to worry about getting any copyright flags or anything, or not being able to monetize my videos, because you're paying for that subscription. Highly recommend that to you guys. And lastly, an app I just started using is Afterlight. They have different presets and stuff on there. I know you guys have seen like people that have aesthetic Instagram feeds that have the same kind of color story to them. And I've always wanted to have kind of a, you know, an aesthetic kind of Instagram that kind of flows together. So recently I've been using some of the presets on there to kind of give me a warm kind of chill vibe with my pictures, and I feel like it makes it really cohesive with your feed when people are looking at it. So, and my colors are warm. They're like warm yellows and browns and stuff, so I kind of go with that with the overall look of my images. I also don't over filter my pictures, so I don't want it to take away from like my makeup looks or the look of my wigs, so you guys can see the true color and the true color of the lace and stuff like that. So I'm sure there's so much I left out in this video, but I was talking so fast because I was excited. This is all the equipment that I use now. Like, you don't have to use everything that I use. There's so much other stuff that you can do instead of what I use. But this is my channel, and I just wanted to share what I use currently in 2021, because it's changed a lot since my 2017 video. You can watch my 2017 video. It might be helpful to you guys. And if you want to watch my teaching playlist, some of those videos are depressing because I was in a dark time and I was not very happy, but you can watch those videos if you want. I'm just going to say this and I'll be out. just because somebody has a big following or if somebody has a small following, that does not mean they are of less value or more value. Because some people I know who have less than like 5,000 subscribers or less than 10,000 followers on Instagram, they are making a lot of money. It's all about the quality and the value of your content. Yeah, that would be the last thing I'd say. Just don't judge people by their follower count or how popular they are, because some people who have big followings don't do well financially or whatever, and some smaller content creators have really good quality and they're making big bucks out here. So don't like feel down on yourself. Make sure you are working on providing consistent value to your audience and doing your thing and staying in your lane, because that is what I have done. I am not the most popular YouTuber in the grand scheme of things, but I have been able to do this full-time successfully for 3 years, and I'm really proud of myself. And one last thing, I keep saying this because I'm a little bit all over the place. Get you a planner and take your business seriously. Plan out your content ahead of time so you're not scrambling, so you don't sacrifice the quality or how good your content turns out to be. Have some confidence in yourself and know your value early so companies don't play you and try to underpay you for a lot of things. Even if you've only been creating YouTube for like a year or two or something like that, you still should be paid for your time and your efforts, especially if they are, you know, reaching out to you. So I wanted to say that before I leave. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. And if you would like to be a part of my journey, subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.